Spanish-speaking population in New Orleans, NOLAReady is working to get its text message alert system working properly and consistently.
But as Andres Fuentes reports, the agency is having issues that most emergency management services face when trying to reach out to people with different languages.
With hurricane season looming on the calendar, there's an issue that worries Spanish-speaking New Orleanians. NOLAReady is working through the kinks of its text message alert system. Right now, if you text ESP to 77295, you're supposed to be getting alerts on weather and other important information in Spanish. But a city spokesperson says not all messages are being translated, and instead, those subscribers are getting text messages in English unless there's a life-threatening event like a tornado or flooding.
Did you know that they are kind of not really regularly sending these messages translated in Spanish?
No, it's a long time ago. I don't receive any from New Orleans city or NOLAReady.
Miguel Berenger with Telemundo 42 was shocked to hear of the lack of Spanish alerts. A city spokesperson says their vendor, Rave Mobile Safety, has issues with translating words in Spanish that use accent marks.
In a city that is growing more Hispanic, more Latino, more Spanish-based, what does that really mean that the city isn't regularly sending these important alerts in Spanish?
I don't know, because it's rare, because always we had a good contact with the city of New Orleans.
Now, across parish lines, the Jefferson Parish Emergency Management Team says their text message program is growing, specifically among Spanish-speaking people. Alerts are sent to an in-house translator who then quickly converts the text from English into Spanish.
And typically we can turn that around in about 5 minutes.
The program has grown from its inception during the start of COVID-19 and is now being used for weather alerts, traffic notices, and other major events in the parish.
Whatever message we're going to send out in English, that's the message that's going to get sent out in Spanish. So at the end of the day, we have specific information that we want them to read and understand so that they can have a full, clear snapshot of what the threats and risks are.
Now, NOLAReady representatives say that they hope to officially launch their Spanish text messaging system without any issues before hurricane season this year. And for more information on how to sign up for the alerts both in New Orleans and in Jefferson Parish, head to our website, Fox 8 Live.